My computer is really going. Hey, y'all. Hey, welcome. It took a minute for us. I don't know if I was stalled out, but welcome back to Black Women Equal Pay Day. Glad you are here with us. This is day 4, and I have my co-host with me, Rose Fauntleroy, and we have just been talking about all things for Black women and about how to pay yourself, how to write your own check. Am I reverbing? Is that me? I heard it for a minute. Okay. So we're going to bring a person here that's going to share with you. I'm going to have Rose introduce her in just a moment, but we're going to continue to talk about how we can pay ourselves. Because it's time to shift. It's time to move. It's time to make a change. It's just time. And we want you to be passionate about that movement. We want you to join our movement. If you haven't done so, please share this broadcast. We want a lot of women to hear this. We want a lot of our community to be aware of how far we've come, but how far we still have to go. And so with no further ado, Rose, I'm going to pass the torch on, but go to bit.ly/payyourself21 to join the conversation, to join the movement, and to get involved.
Absolutely. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back. We are in day 4 of Black Women Equal Pay. Pat yourselves on the back because you've shown up for 4 days straight. And I know it's Sunday evening. Some people getting ready, get together to go to work tomorrow, and all that good stuff. But you took the time out for you to be here with us, and we appreciate that. So without further ado, tonight we have a special guest. You don't have to listen to me and Stephanie ramble on about how mad we are because they taking our money in broad daylight and telling us we got to take it. So you don't have to listen to that tonight because it's criminal. You know how they usually stick you up in the dark with a mask on or, something covering their face or, whatever.
I got stories. I got more stories. The people want to hear the stories.
But they sticking us up now in broad daylight. They just walk up to us and say, look, we ain't gonna pay you and you got to work here anyway. And ain't nothing you can do about it. So we're not going to, you ain't got to listen to us be all mad and tell our stories and stuff. So without further ado, we have a special guest on the platform. Everybody, we have company. Okay. So, when you have company, you got to be on your best behavior. Can't show out when company's in the house. Okay. We have company tonight. We have Miss Eureka S. Humphreys. She's going to talk to us about how she writes her own paycheck and how she can assist you in writing your own paycheck as well. She's going to talk to us about wealth planning through taxes. Ooh, I know somebody went, ooh, when they heard taxes. I know they're like, ooh, is the IRS coming to get me? Well, they might. But you won't be the only one. It's plenty of others too. But she's gonna teach us and help us to be able to plan better up front so that you won't get bitten on the back. As my mama said, I'm gonna tell you up front so you don't stick out in the back. So she's gonna help us up front so we don't stick out in the back. So Eureka, take it away, girl.
Hi, are you guys able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Awesome. Well, I just want to thank these beautiful hosts on this evening, Miss Stephanie, Miss Rose. You guys are absolutely amazing. I thank you for all that you do and you continue to do for the different organizations, even your own organizations. You guys are definitely superstars. You work all the time, always making it happen. So I appreciate you guys and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share with you and to other women on, how we can be able to get the pay that we deserve and the pay that we need for our families. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be able to share how we can be able to do that through our income taxes, because a lot of times income tax season is the biggest check that most families get during the year at one time. And so if I can show you how you can be able to not only, if I can show you how you can plan now and pay less and be able to pocket more so that you can be able to duplicate that money and make that money more so it can be able to work for you, and then you can be able to do more things, would that be worth your time? And I think most people will say, yeah, that may be worth my time, right? So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and go forth. I'm just going to give you guys a brief overview again about who I am and what my company does and how we can go forth and help you be able to get the money that you deserve as a woman or whomever else that you may be. But we're focused on women pay, okay? All right. So, I ask people, can you afford to miss out on $40,000? Could anybody afford to miss out on $40,000? No. Okay. I don't think so. And Coast, you can go ahead and communicate with me if you want to. But the average amount of money that Americans as a whole are missing out on in refunds and tax deductions is over $1.5 billion. And because they are missing out on this money, they're missing out on it because they don't plan their wealth. And how would you like an extra $3,000 to $4,000 or $20,000 to $40,000 so that, you can be able to send your, look, Stephanie said me, Rose, yes, me. So you can be able to send your kids to college. You can probably buy the house you want, buy the car you want, start the business you're looking to start, or even write that book that you've been talking about forever and you just haven't done it yet, or even put more money in your retirement. Again, like they said, my name is Eureka S. Humphreys. I specialize in helping families plan their wealth through their income taxes to avoid missing out on hidden deductions and tax credits. I'm going to speak to you about planning your wealth through your income taxes. And some of the takeaways that I want you guys to take from this presentation on today is I want you to understand why you're paying more in taxes. I want you to discover where you have been missing out on money. And I want to show you how you can pay less in taxes. And so that is our goal. When we talk about wealthy people, they plan their taxes. They are different than the average American. Anytime you're spending more money on your taxes than Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon, Bill Gates, the owner of Microsoft, or Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world, I believe that's a problem. Would you agree with me that that's a problem? Absolutely.
Huge.
CNBC reported that the top 25 richest Americans' worth increased by $401 billion between 2014 and 2018. But they only paid a tax rate of about 3.4%, while average Americans paid anywhere between 10 to 37% in tax rates. Does that sound fair to you? No, but it doesn't make sense and it doesn't sound fair, but we're struggling to make it all happen for our families. And, we're trying to, take care of our families. We're trying to make sure we're paying everything we need to pay, and we're paying more in taxes while the rich people aren't. But part of the reason is because they do this because they're planning their wealth and you're not planning your wealth. So you need to be proactive versus reactive and plan your wealth through your income taxes, just as they are. First things first.
Eureka, can I ask a question? Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
Can I ask a question? So when you say that, that was an aha moment for me. Mm-hmm. Because think about when we get our tax on, we as a community, we as a culture, mm-hmm. we plan for those tax dollars, right? Even before they get to our hand. We know exactly what we're going to do and how we're going to spend it. And it's usually either a catch up or it's a gift or it's something that we haven't been wanting to get. And this is the only time that we're able to get it because we have a lot of money all at once, right? Mm-hmm. And it's not part of our paycheck. It's not, this is additional money. So we look at it a little differently. So how is it? Because that's a gap in and of itself right there. Is the wealthy look at that differently than we look at our own taxes. How can we do that shift? I don't know if you can even answer that, but I just know it's a whole mindset shift that has to occur for people to then take the next step and start planning, like you're saying, and looking at that money differently instead of, oh, I'm going to buy this, or I'm going to put it's going to be a down payment on this, or I'm going to be able to get that big TV that I've been wanting forever. And I deserve it because I've worked hard for it, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not, illegitimizing why people do what they do, or saying, shaming anyone for doing it, because I believe you work hard, you deserve what you want, right? But at the same time, we are way behind in our wealth building because of some of our decision making. So go ahead if you want to speak to that.
Well, I want to make sure that I understand your question. So your question is, I was trying to get your question out of all of that. I know you were speaking about a lot of different things. So I just want to reinvert. So your question is how you talked about allocating the money, and the money already being allocated to other things that we're looking at getting before we even get the money, and then trying to get out of the mindset of either allocating all the money or what was the second thing?
Putting the money where it needs to go to build the wealth.
Or putting the money where it needs
to go. Your main question may have been, how can we change our mindset to catch up or to start planning for generational wealth?
Okay. So when we're talking about catching up, and she said, either that money is the catch up money or we just want to go out and buy stuff, right? So when you talk about, two things. One, usually when you're doing your income taxes, you really want to do your income taxes to break even, really not to have the IRS to have all your money and then give your money back. But it just depends on what it is that you want to do in your life. The second thing is that, because of deductions and credits, it allows us to get more money back depending on your income level. And in regards to your question about mindset, that is one of the main things that I am trying to help people do, is to change their mindset of how they see their income taxes, because the income during income tax season is when you usually get one of the biggest checks that you've got all year in 1 month. My goal is to help you to not only pay less taxes so you can be able to get more back, but I want to help you to be able to plan and pocket. So the planning allows us to be able to, one, get more back, and two, when we pocket more. Now let's talk about what we are doing with this money. Not to say that it's a bad thing to go spend it on something that you feel that you deserve, but you want to have some set aside where we can say, hey, how do I invest this money and duplicate this money? How do I make my money make money for me? So when the season comes back around again, I'm not waiting for that money so I can catch up on my bills and catch up on stuff that need to be taken care of. But now I have another lump sum that I can put as an investment so I can be able to make my money make money for me. The richest people will tell you the best way to make money is to make money while you're sleeping. If you're not making money while you're sleeping, you're working entirely too hard. Okay. And so that's, very important. And we have to get out that mindset. And that is exactly what I am trying to, push forward and trying to do with, with the slogan of plan now, pay less, pocket more. And then the next step after that, which I look forward to, doing some training and webinars in, is how do I help my money make money for me? Like I said in the beginning, you can use that money to write that book you've been looking at, to start that business you've been looking at doing, to put extra money in your retirement and to duplicate it, but also finding other ways to invest it, whether it's the stock market, whether it's in trading, whether it's in whatever. How can you make your money work for you so you can be able to see real financial freedom? How can you make your money make money while you're sleeping? So that is a very good question. And that's something that I look forward to working with moving forward, and teaching others, how can we make our money make money for us? So first things first, though, we have to understand why we're paying more money in taxes. Make sense? So we understand why we're paying more money and we can be able to get some back, then that can help us to also have more money so we can duplicate, right? Right? Yes. Yes. So have you guys ever heard someone say, they're taking too much money out of my check. I want more money, more of my money now. So then they go and they claim exempt on their W-4 form, or they have their job take less money out of their check. And then you hear them complain about having to pay the IRS at the end of the year. This is one of the biggest issues, especially for single individuals with no dependents. You need to know the proper amount of federal withholding, which should be deducted from your check. In my 16 years of experience in this field, I've seen filing status be one of the big reasons why people are paying more in taxes, especially for married couples. One spouse stops working, or you decide not to file a return with them and you file separately, or you have children and decide to file separately, not recognizing you have now limited tax credits and deductions that you could have taken. I had a couple. I worked for neighborhood centers in Houston, Texas for 5 years, and I loved it. We were able to help different communities. We served a lot of communities. And I had this lady come in and she wanted to file her taxes with me, and she was filing separately with the dependent. She was claiming her dependent, and she also had her husband there with her. And so while we were doing her taxes, I asked her, I said, why aren't you guys filing together? She said, he doesn't work and he receives disability. I said, well, great. Let me show you how you can lower the amount of taxes you're paying and receive a higher refund by adding him. So she said, well, okay. And so she allowed me to do so. So when I found the extra $3,000 to $4,000 on that particular return. And what was funny is that she told me that she went to a guy and he was just like, well, because your husband doesn't work, you shouldn't claim him at all. And I'm just like, that's not how that works. That's a good thing, because if you understand anything about taxes, is that when you have a married couple, you get a higher standard deduction, which lowers your taxes so you can get more money back. And so not only did I help her find that extra $3,000 to $4,000, I said, hey, do you know that you can amend your returns up to 3 years? Because statute of limitations allow us to amend our returns and get that refund money back for the past 3 years. So when I amended her returns as well, and I was asking her probing questions through the years, because there's tax credits and deductions that we usually miss because we have no recollection, or we don't know about it because, one, we're not a tax professional, okay? And so we don't know. And so at the end of it, I was able to help lower their tax liability in those 3 years, and I was able to increase their refund by about $20,000. Again, can you afford to miss out on $20,000? Not at all. So therefore, it is important to plan your wealth so that you are not stuck at the end of the year giving away more money to Uncle Sam than you should have. So have you ever wondered why some people refunds are bigger than yours, or why they are paying less money in taxes than you are? Have you guys ever wondered that? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, I've seen people say, I'm just gonna do my taxes. How hard can it be, right? Like, I'm just gonna do it by myself because it's not hard, it's easy. But yet we go to school for years, we get a degree, we study the field, we intern into the field, and we work in the field so we can be able to learn how to do the stuff. But you just say, hey, I'm gonna do it myself, okay, right? So then the following year, you bring your taxes to me to fix them. I've had people say that, and then they bring their taxes back to me to fix them. And I find out by asking them questions, they've missed out on some tax credits. They've missed out on deductions they could have claimed, which in return would have lowered their tax liability and